outcries continue over the death of George Floyd.
Last night, people protesting in
Stop
Minneapolis
letting people talk you out of your power.
How do we build a movement that allows us to respond to all the names that people don't know?
People begin to think it's isolated. That's the problem. We're not angry enough.
This is Life After the Impact, a podcast for impacted families by impacted families that focuses on what happens after the media, the lawyers, and the activists are gone.
When the cameras are gone, people leave. We have to be there for each other.
Impacted families are left to face the loss of a loved one to police-sponsored violence. We will focus on their continued fight for justice and how you can get involved.
I tell families, fight.
Everybody can do something, that you don't have to sit home and feel helpless and hopeless.
We gotta stop allowing people to talk us out of our power. That's the main thing.
Can't change overnight, but we gotta start somewhere. Might as well go ahead, start here.
Good evening. My name is Roxanne Johnson. My son's name is Jamal Byrd. He was killed by DC Metropolitan Police October 1st, 2019. I'm here with my beautiful co-host, Latoya. Good evening, Latoya.
Hey, good evening, you guys. Good evening, you guys. My name is Latoya Benton. Welcome to Life After the Impact. I am the mother of Xavier Hill. Xavier was killed January the 9th, 2021 at the age of 18 by Virginia State Police. Roxanne, you want to kind of tell everybody why we asked everyone to come tonight and why we don't have a guest?
Yeah, so we're excited tonight because we're gonna talk about a new thing that we're adding to what we're doing here. We're launching our legal defense fund tonight, and we're so excited. But before we talk about the actual legal defense fund, we want to talk about give you a little bit more insight into our personal stories and why we're so passionate about this fight. As you know, we every week that we have a podcast, I introduce myself and I let you know that my son was killed by DC Metropolitan Police. And now the details of that, were that he actually died in custody in what is known as Central Cell Block in Washington, D.C. And those who are from this area know what that is. After he was found unconscious in his cell, I was called in the middle of the night. Well, actually 3 o'clock in the morning. I will never forget. 3 o'clock in the morning, and told on the phone that my son was no longer on this side of the world, on this side of heaven. And so grieving and then having to try to find justice and accountability, those two it becomes very difficult. And as I was sharing with Latoya, just to give you a little bit of background about me, I have a master's degree, but legal stuff is very intimidating to me. So now I'm grieving and I'm trying to find a lawyer, and they're telling me I got a certain amount of time before I'm no longer able to file any kind of wrongful death suits and that kind of thing. Because of course the police and those people are not taking any accountability for anything they did. And from what lawyers were telling me, because of this thing called qualified immunity, I have very little recourse. I talked to 9 lawyers. I think I might have talked to even more, but I know for a fact 9 different lawyers who all told me, no, they cannot take my case. No, I don't have a case. Imagine grieving and then not being able to pursue any kind of accountability for the death of your child. I know some of y'all know this personally. I know that some of our listening audience has had this exact same experience that I'm talking about. But I think what really compounded it for me is that the few people that I did know that have been in this struggle, nobody ever said to me, have you thought about filing pro se? Nobody ever said. I never heard those those words before I came in contact with actually LaToya. And so here I am, my son, this month, at the end of this month, we would be celebrating his 40th birthday. Oh. And on October the 1st, will be 5 years that my son has been gone, away from his family, away from his only daughter, who's now a teenager, away from us, the people who loved and care about him. So that's what makes me very passionate about this. It makes me very passionate about wanting to see not just justice for my family, but justice for all families, because this is the way my mindset is, that if LaToya wins, then I win. If you in the listening audience wins, then we all win. Right. And that's the mindset that we have to have.
The mindset. Roxanne, thank you for sharing with us. I asked you yesterday, you know, I know it's hard sometimes for you to talk about what happened with Jamal. You guys, so again, we're talking about our stories right now because we want to kind of just remind people of the aftermath, you know, of what we have to get to even try to get any kind of accountability or justice, right? As you guys heard, Roxanne said she went through 9 attorneys, all of them told her no. And she wasn't even familiar with the term that she could file pro se, right? My story myself, y'all, most of you all know, who may be listening, who may not know, I don't know. Xavier, you know, we couldn't find an attorney. And it wasn't even a matter about like a money thing at the point in time, because we had the community who were trying to help us raise the funds. It became a matter of just finding a decent person who was willing to stand up for what was right. So I wound up filing the case myself, pro se. So that's a different topic. We can talk about that, right? Mm-hmm. Well, the reason we're having discussions today, as far as our announcement is concerned, when it comes to this, because with my case, I had to file myself. I didn't have anybody telling me, you know, I had one person who was a different lawyer who was telling me, you know, I could do that. But I was looking for a community of people who could help us say, you know, hey, you can do this. And forget it. They might tell you going to get those no's, you know, and it's unrealistic to say you're not going to get a no's, right? And it's unrealistic to say you're going to file this case and you may actually just win it all in a matter of seconds. That's not realistic either. It's a wait. It's a hurry up and wait game, right? But to not know and walk through the tunnel of darkness by yourself, it's like a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing. So we have to be willing to say, you know, hey, I don't know. And even like Roxanne was saying, she brought the master's degree because of this. Most of us, you know, we think because we got a little college degree, it's cool. But you might not know what's going on right here, and it's okay to say that. But let's create space where we can say, hey, we don't know. I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything. I promise you I know. But I promise you, we have to still share the knowledge with each other so we can move forward. So like after the impact, the announcement we want to make today, because everybody knows too as well with Xavier's case, we had to also spend a lot of money too from the community as well as our own pockets. To this day, I'm going to keep saying it, $3,000. I got all the receipts. I have all the receipts, right? And we still digging up the hole right now just to make sure we can still survive from that. Mm-hmm. So we want to make sure that we're not just doing a lip service, right? We want to make sure we're not just having this Tuesday session every day because, you know, this is time consuming. We have been honored to actually be able to partner with a legal firm in order to help, not just point in a direction saying, hey, go here, with actual lawyers who can maybe, again, no one can make promises, but the whole point is trying to find the right people who are trying to take the cases. One of the guests we had on last week, Jomana, I don't want to speak too soon, but we're still working on, we are actually working within the community right now. Melissa, do you want to share? I think you can share. This is a firm that we're connected with right now, Justice Connection. And this is going to, right now, some of the workers, she was saying how their network is they're on the East Coast. They're trying to expand those. We can go, you know, of course, throughout the whole United States. But the whole thing is that we're trying to make it so that, you know, we're not, again, like I said, we're not doing a lip service. And we're making sure that we're putting people in the connection with people who actually want to fight for justice without just saying, hey, I got people between you breathing, or trying to find an actual attorney, because that's not fair to anybody.
Yeah. And I think having this as a part of what we do as Life After the Impact, we're creating a safe space for people who have been in the same positions that you and I have found ourselves in, LaToya. But the difference is that having people who know about this, we can help to navigate a little bit. I'm not, like you said, not making any promises, but at the same time being able to navigate and say, hey, you need to do 1, 2, 3 things. And then what we're going to do is, one of the first things that we're going to do is we're going to hold a workshop. It's coming up. Stay tuned, because we about what? We about that action.
Action, baby.
We're going to have a workshop for parents, for families, whomever, for individuals, to talk about what do you do when you have been a victim of police violence. Because see, they don't even want to call us victims. They don't even want to call you a victim. They want to say, oh, this happened or that happened. But we know we've been victimized. And so having some legal support to tell us what we can do, how we should, what steps we should take. Because I mean, like I said, in my situation, nobody ever said none of this. None of this. It's all, we want to prevent that going in the future. And so more of us get educated. We educate each other, each one teach one, pay it forward. And what we'll build is a whole group of people, a community of people that now know how to act to get accountability, at least take the steps in the right direction, as opposed to feeling like you're floundering all over the place and with nobody to help you.
And keep in mind too, you guys, we're not building this legal defense fund, so you can just say, well, hey, my lawyer's gonna handle it. This ain't that. Again, it's about trying to educate the community. When you're filing pro se, because you don't have an attorney, so keep that in mind. But it is kind of nice to have an attorney who can kind of say, what does depositions mean? And what do interrogatories mean? Those big words, and you'd be like, you can Google it, okay, and it's gonna give you a definition, but it's gonna really tell you the steps to take to go through like discovery and stuff like that, right? It's nice to have that little friend where you can call up and say, hey, I'm going through this process right here, because like I said, again, even if they can't, with Xavier's case, I filed pro se. And once I filed pro se, I found the attorneys after the fact who would beat the clock. And that was the whole thing, right? We have to still, again, educate the community as far as how we navigate through the system. We had a podcast a couple of weeks ago talking about Project 2025. And, somebody was saying how, let's stop being retroactive and waiting and reading their script. And let's begin to educate ourselves on how we begin to move forward. So this is a first step for us. And it's major. It's super major for us. Because Roxanne's story, who she wasn't able to file a case because they was just not knowing, right? I didn't spend money out the wazooey, right? And we still in court right now. But think about how many families we met in between time, who some have filed, some have not filed, and some have still looking for the pathway on how to file. But we'll gather for certain things. We won't gather to say, this is how we guide each other. So let's start building community. This is what this is about. It's about building community and building actual resources that we can begin to use.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, so we get into the discussion about now, how do we build this legal defense fund?
Yes.
This is the part of the podcast when everybody can get involved, right? So we need funds. Period, point blank, period after that. The lawyers, the even advertising and finding the different resources is going to take money. It's going to take money. And so what we're coming to you tonight, we gave you the, kind of like the overview of what we plan to do, but we need your help. We're setting a goal of $1,000. $1,000. We would like to see $1,000 go to our website in the next 2 weeks. We would like to have $1,000. That ain't a whole lot. Some of y'all, one of y'all could write that check. We'd be done right now. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. But we know we know, some of us have this, well, I'm going to let God work it out. Well, the scripture I know about says faith without work is dead.
Right.
And so we want to put work behind the faith that we have in our community, that we can get this done. We can create an environment where all of us can get the accountability we deserve. In order to do that, we got to have somebody.
We want to also provide quality, right? Because people want us on the other say, well, I'm gonna get a pro bono lawyer. What about pro bono? They're free, and I understand that they are free, but sometimes that quality that you get into that is not what you would need. And I'm not saying that all lawyers are the same. We can't say that either. My person is my lawyer. I can call her and talk to her on the phone about certain things because we're navigating through a case, but I'm also put my money towards the case also, right? So again, we want to be, how do you provide that experience for everybody where you not have to pick between grieving, trying to find a lawyer, right? Like we just said again, $1,000 ain't nothing, you guys. I'm trying to, I spent $6,300 on Xavier's case, $20,000 that was for the appeal. So you're talking about a margin just to get the ball rolling so we can begin to get this fund going for the community, because it is important. But keep in mind, we're trying to provide a quality service. We're super aware there's pro bono lawyers out here. We're super aware you have the groups that may take the cases. Again, you can't make promises here too. But at the same time, we want to be able to have some kind of guidance without people saying, well, just point in the direction, this is not that. We're trying to actually provide those resources. So please go to our website, like Roxanne just said. The donate button is up there. You can donate directly to the website. It's going to go directly to the Legal Defense Fund as well as the impact to keep the work moving and moving forward.
And the other thing that I would add, Latoya, when you're talking about quality, the difference between this and getting a pro bono lawyer or somebody who doesn't know is that we know what this is firsthand. And so we're going to be working directly with these lawyers to make sure that they understand what our particular demographic needs in the way of legal assistance. We're going to, one of the other thing that we're going to do, in addition to starting this legal defense fund, is we're going to do a short survey and talk to people who are in the middle of this experience, either have at this beginning, maybe in the middle, or have already gone through this experience, so we can understand even better how we need to work in the future. So,
Roxanne, I totally agree with you guys. So, as you said again, y'all, please, again, the survey is going to go to seeing what the need is for the community. So please support us as far as the work is concerned, so we can continue to move forward. Keep saying Xavier's name, keep saying Jamal's name, but keep saying the community's name as well. Don't forget, you're not necessarily helping to impact their family, you're helping the community. We have to get into the mindset again that, people try to separate it. It's not a separate thing. We're providing a service for the community. So please support us in our mission.
Absolutely. And we thank you. And we look forward to building a space where everybody can get the accountability that they deserve.
Yes, you guys, this has been Life After the Impact. Please join us again next week. We'll be at normal time. Also, y'all, we have 2 episodes coming up. One, the lawyer from Just Connect, she'll be coming into a podcast episode as well, so everyone will get to meet her. Also, we have been reading this book, The End of Policing. We have a podcast also early September of the author who will be on for this book as well, so you can pick this up, grab it. It has a lot of things as far as just my policing is concerned and why we are into this fight, or not just more so not just into the fight, but why the explanation, I would say, of the fight, period, right? Some people will say, who said this? It's in a book sometimes, right? Still in a book or not. So the author be on the show in September. The lawyer will be on the show, and I think it's September as well, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys, please be sure, like I said again, visit our page on Life After the Impact. Please sure to donate $2, $3, which the goal is 1,000. So help us, please.
Yeah. This has been Life After the Impact. We doing things, we're moving, We're building the movement that we want to see so we get accountability. Find out how you can get involved. Have a good evening.
Good night.
Send people pictures of your child's obituary.
Right.
Let them see why you won't give up.
That's it.
That's also, they've gotten them in the mail. They've gotten them dropped off at their office.
There you go.
Because y'all gonna remember who Amir Locke
Make
is.
them uncomfortable. Make them totally uncomfortable, right?
Yeah. Yes. Like I said, keep doing whatever you need to do when something comes up in your city. And that's the thing. One problem is everybody's problem.
That's right.
And in order for them to stop doing what they're doing, you know, they're pushing this movement that is consisting of really strong people with voices. And we're not going to tire. We're not going to let in. We're going to let up. We're not going to shut up. And that's what I told you from day one. I'm not shutting up at all. Even if it's just you. One person told me, sometimes if you even do it on your own, you have the biggest voice. I could just stand outside by myself and shout justice for Amir Locke, and it's going to rain because I'm his mother. Right. So, and like I said, we are boots on the ground. Boots on the ground means, you know what, like I told them that day when they said, we are not going to charge him. I said, y'all did y'all job. Now I'm about to do mine. And that's what I've been doing ever since.
Everybody can do something that you don't have to sit home and feel helpless and hopeless.
We got to stop allowing people to talk us out of our power. That's the main thing.
Can't change overnight, but we got to start somewhere. Might as well go ahead, start here. We didn't